Good day, good afternoon, good evening everyone, this is ViperAS here with one of my new favorite games of all time actually, Earth Defense Force 2025, usually abbreviated to EDF 2025. Fairly new game, came out just this past February for the PS3 and Xbox 360. This is the PS3 version because that's what I record on. The entire game could probably be summed up as if you took a cheesy like 50s horror movie with like Attack of the Giant Ants or something like that and added like modern day weapons and even some futuristic weapons to it, that would be this game. So I'm just going to kind of get right into it. I've played for a while, but I'm going to try and show an easier level and I'm going to use lower level weapons for it. There are 4 classes in this game. I'm going to show off the basic one, the Ranger. It's the one I've played the most of. There's also the Wing Diver, which can fly and is pretty awesome. The Air Raider, which is kind of a more support type character, but they've got tanks, they've got vehicles, they can call down airstrikes. And the Fencer, who is kind of slow, but can have 4 weapons, and they can get really monstrous. They're also a little more difficult to play. I'm going to show the Ranger for now. I might spread out in other videos. And as you can see, you get a lot of different weapons. Each class gets their own unique weapon selections. Today I'm just going to be using a standard rocket launcher and a standard assault rifle. I might branch out to other things as well, but that's just what I'm going to show for now. And let's get right into it. Yeah, we're going to pick that one. On normal. This game gets very, very difficult at higher difficulties. I guess that makes perfect sense, but I didn't expect it to ramp up quite as far as it did. So for right now I'm just showing it on normal. I've played some hard. I've played a little bit of hardest, which is the one after that, and then there's Inferno, which is just absolutely insane. Just absolutely insane. The only downside I can really say about this game, now that it's happening, the loading times are long. It just has long loading times. It loads an entire city, the city is destructible, loads all the enemies, but that does mean that the loading times are a bit lengthy. If this bothers you, hopefully it doesn't, because you're going to be missing out on a great game. But alright, and here we are in, I think it was mission 6 or 7. So, we've got giant buildings, which can all be destroyed if you fire enough stuff at them. There you go, there goes that building. And it kind of has a nice slow collapse to it, which is pretty awesome. Great for clearing the way, also just great for, you know, blowing up buildings, like why not? So, this is my rocket launcher. You have in this game completely unlimited ammo. You do have to reload, but you'll never run out of shots to reload into your weapon, ever. Which is good. Again, on this map on normal, I'm probably not going to be overly threatened, considering I've done some on hard and hardest, but it's still a good map to show, just to get an idea for the game. So that's the rocket launcher. Rocket launcher is a lot of fun. The Ranger rocket launcher I like the best because all the other like long distance rocket weapons in the game that aren't missiles arc a bit, except for the Ranger. If I want to hit that pinpoint top of that building, I hit that spot. Consequently, because of that, it isn't always the most powerful weapon. This is not the most powerful rocket launcher. I have stronger ones, but I didn't bring them because the higher difficulty you play, the better the weapons you get. But it's obviously clearly harder. But I didn't want to come into this with really bad, or really OP weapons, so I picked other weapons I had gotten from playing on normal. The other thing to keep in mind in this game is friendly fire and self-damage are totally a thing. So if I were to try and get this spider here, let's see, rolling is actually quicker. If I were to try and get this spider here, I would hurt myself. For the exact damage that my weapon does, of course. And if I was shooting those spiders there, and there was a teammate under it, they'd be hurt. This game is co-op up to 4 players. It also has online co-op, which I've only ever used with friends. It seems the lobbies are never empty, but I've yet to see one like super bustling, but there's usually enough there that you can get different things. Enemies will drop these, crates. Armor crates are fantastic, though they don't seem it at the start. When you finish a mission, all your crates count, so if I were to die after picking these up, it wouldn't count, I'd have to complete it. But at the end of the mission, all the armor crates you have are added to your total health, your maximum health. though different classes gain it at different rates, so it's not always a 1-to-1 ratio. The green ones are weapon crates, which are exactly what they sound. At the end of the mission, once you've fully completed it, each weapon crate will give you a random weapon appropriate for the level difficulty you played, like easy, normal, hard, whatever, and what level you played. Since this is a fairly early level, it's probably going to be a fairly low level, like fairly beginner weapon. Not that those are bad, those can be pretty awesome, but playing on higher levels, like playing harder actual levels, and playing harder difficulty levels is the best way to get better weapons. Even if you could only beat like a level or so on a higher difficulty, sometimes it's worth doing that just to get new weapons. But let's continue forward. You can also notice the radar at the top right, very handy. Not quite as much in multiplayer, because if you're doing split screen multiplayer, like local co-op, it squishes the radar and it's hard to see. But green dots are the crates. Red dots, yeah, English, I can totally speak it, are enemies. And what else? White dots are civilians, which are really kind of just there for effect. They talk a lot. You can probably, depending on how loud I make the game audio, hear them screaming, chattering, saying things. The civilians talk a lot, as do, you know, everything else, radio chatter. Purple dots, which aren't on this mission apparently, are other EDF members, who are generally speaking going to help you out. They can be killed, so watch your fire if you want them to help you out. If you don't care about them helping you, go ahead and blow them up. It doesn't really matter. There's no downside, but you have fewer targets for the enemies to hit. So yeah. Yeah, you can see a lot of civilians over here. They can be, like, moved with explosions. You can get them to go elsewhere, but they are invincible. There can be a hindrance if you're using a rocket launcher. If you're not paying attention and you go to fire, and all of a sudden there's a guy in front of you, he can eat the rocket and you explode, which is bad. Killing yourself is actually a really big danger early on in this game until you get more health. As it is, this rocket launcher doesn't do enough damage to outset the amount of health I have in one shot. But this is one of my weaker rocket launchers, so other ones could. It's a real danger, especially if you're another class, like the wing diver. Her rockets are like plasma rockets, and they have a huge explosion radius, and more often than not, wing divers kill themselves. I'll probably show a wing diver in the next video, even though mine is not well equipped at all, just because all the classes play pretty differently. So I'll probably show a video for each class, though my Air Raider I've never played, only my friend has played it on this console, so that'll be interesting. What else do we got here? So we got a lot of crates. Once the mission is over, you've got like 20 seconds, sometimes less. Maybe I'm going to say 10. 10's going to be my guess. To pick up whatever crates you can. It'll say mission complete, and then you get like a few seconds while it pretty much just closes out the mission. So that's not a lot of time, unless you're a wing diver who can move really fast. So it's a good idea when you notice the enemies are getting low, or if there's a lot of crates on the screen, it's a good idea to grab as many as you can, so you don't leave a bunch behind when the mission's over. You don't want to not have your crates. So these guys, they give weird names. Oh, there you go, I was too close. They give weird names to a lot of the creatures in this, because, you know, this is one of those games that you're not supposed to really take super seriously. At least the dialogue, if anything else. You're just not. The dialogue is kinda, I can't call it like abysmal, but it's clearly not meant to be taken seriously. It's clearly meant to kind of poke fun at really bad, campy, like sci-fi horror movies, which is, for me, fine. I am okay with that. There are times where I just kind of don't pay attention to the audio, but there is kind of a storyline going on. So if you want to pay, I don't need help. If you want to pay attention to it, it's there. But it can really be summed up as, this is the newest game in a series, so these giant insects, yes, even the spiders are called giant insects, because why not? Because translation, I guess. Have invaded the Earth before, and they're doing it again, damn it. Along with aliens, like actual aliens, not just bugs. I guess the aliens use the bugs to try and like soften our defenses. So it starts out with all giant ants, and then you get giant spiders like these guys, like jumping spiders. You get like actual webbed spiders too, which are a massive pain. and then you start getting like bipedal walking alien mechs and alien dropships and stuff. So it definitely has way more variety than the first mission or so would kind of show. Massive monster variety, actually. And, well, maybe not massive, but it also has a lot of missions. My friends and I got to like the 20s and 30s for mission numbers, and we're having a lot of fun. And then we kind of looked online just how far it went. It goes up to like 82 or so, like the mid-80s, which is a lot of missions. So there you go. Those are the weapons I got. It would say new if it was something I hadn't already had, but since I've played a bit of normal, I have a lot of the early normal level weapons, so nothing new. And a bunch of armor. So I don't remember what my armor was before, but now it's up to 748. It's gone up a bit. So that was the Ranger on a fairly early mission on EDF 2025. I think my next video is going to be a Ranger on a harder mission, so I can show you that the game does actually have a hell of a challenge behind it, especially single player. But for now, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and tune in next time.